Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Or, more accurately, should I say, horrific stitch up. Thanks, Cameron, buddy, pal. Um, you're probably laughing, going, "Aha, got you to watch this one." I told him it was really good, and you had to watch a shit movie. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, freaking the friends I got who needs enemies. Right. Anyway, so yeah, if you were on yesterday's stream, Cameron's like, "You gotta watch Underwater. It's actually really good." I looked at him and went, "But the Queen of Wooden Planks, Kristen Stewart's in it. Don't worry about her. Yeah, her acting's bad, but it's okay. Yeah, it's a great movie apart from that there. You can get past it." And I'm like, "Okay, because you're my friend, and you trust your friends, don't you? Yeah, I'm gonna watch this movie and review it. Yes, okay, bastard." Oh man. And you bore witness to this atrocity. This is how divorces and friendships end, or less. um, yeah, I've been properly stitched up for this review, but I got through it. Plot, I'm gonna struggle. It's one of those all flashy stuff, but no actual substance. But the moment I knew I'd been had was, of all things to start off, like, this is a horror movie in itself. Imagine starting off a movie with a Kristen Stewart monologue, her acting like a voiceover monologue of stuff. Like, that's how we're starting off this movie. And you're just like, oh my god, why? What did I do to offend you, Cameron? Honestly, did I insult you too much? Did I take a wee bit of a joke and ribbon too far? Like, you could have at least given me a chance to apologize first before doing this to me. But yeah, that's what I knew. I'm straight on text. You got me good and proper. He's like, "Oh, I forgot about that bit." Nah, yeah, he's like, "Nudge, nudge, wink, wink." Yeah, yeah, sure you did. Sure you forgot about that bit. Yeah, nobody forgets about having to listen to that thing talk on its own. At least if it's hidden behind other actors and noise and stuff, you can kind of get over it. Also, she's a flipping stick. Like, there's no, as you probably guess, I'm not a fan. There is no presence with that girl whatsoever. Okay, this one's better than Humpty Dumpty. Let's give it that. But no, I mean, hold on, we're the friggin' low. No, I mean, I want to set the bar a bit higher than friggin' Beaster Bunny, Humpty Dumpty, and this shite. You know what I mean? I want to. Like, I know horror movies have a bit of a reputation, but come on, folks. There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need to do this to me. Come on. Oh, welcome, Dale. Haven't seen you in absolutely ages. You're about to you're about to witness my pain as I get stitched up with another awful movie, which is happening far too much lately. I must say, I'm not impressed. So we start off with Kristen Stewart monologue, and somebody thinks it's a good idea to have semi-naked Kristen Stewart. That's somehow going to make her more exciting. It actually doesn't. It really doesn't. Just the best way to make her more exciting is like not have her in the movie and use her as a threat. If negotiations are going bad with something, you have her in your back pocket and you go, well, if you don't give me what I want, I'm putting Kristen Stewart in your movie. And that I think would bring a lot of directors into line. She'd make a very good punishment actress. Just you've messed up, and that's what you get. That's your punishment. You get Kristen Stewart in your movie. God, I just. But anyway, from near choking with either, just thinking about it. Even worse, which I should have known he was trying to deflect, saying, "Oh, TJ Miller's in it." I.e., in this, it seems to be after Deadpool, TJ Miller's become bargain basement Ryan Reynolds. But we'll talk about him in a minute. But have flipping Mamadou Afi. And if you remember our review of Archive 81, Mr. Overacting himself is in this movie, and he's actually worse in this movie than a Netflix TV show. Now, I want you to put that in the context. We're talking about a Netflix series. Now, if there's the dung heap, you know what I mean, that's skirting in the, that's just swimming in it and uh, splashed about and doing all this gnarly stuff. Like that's the bottom tier stuff right there. Um, and he managed to be worse in this than in that series. Oh man. But at least his head exploded like shortly into the movie, so we didn't have to put up with it for too long. So what is this? What is this story? Right, we are in an underground drill, massive complex. Like it's what I'll say about it. Okay, let's not be too harsh. The CGI in this, the effects are actually pretty decent. We'll give it this. Okay. Um, it's not sci-fi channel type graphics. So what I think they've done is they've blown their budget on the effects, and then they didn't have much money left for the cast, and that's what we got. What we got. And that's a working theory at the moment as I puzzle my head through this movie. I only finished watching it about 35 minutes ago, so forgive me if I'm still processing what I bloody went through there. So this crew, and it's done in this, well, it's not. It's they're trying to cash in on like so the Abyss and Aliens and a wee bit of Event Horizon. They're trying to do all that, but just badly. They're trying to give that atmosphere, but when you start off with a Kristen Stewart monologue, nah, nothing. You know what I mean? People's ears are still bleeding, so they're not going to take in any dialogue afterwards. They're just too much pain, and I can testify to that. I had to wipe blood and snot off because it was just my head felt like I was about to explode from the pressure of actually listening to her voice for more than 2 minutes. Like at least in Twilight, she didn't talk much, so we'll give her that. And well, I don't know. I just refuse. If she's in a movie, I refuse to watch anyway because it just it's the same as Big Dumb Johnson. If I ever see him in a movie, like there's a bunch of actors that if I see their name, I'm not watching the movie. I just can't bear to watch them. And probably people feel the same about this podcast. They'll see my big ugly mug popping up, and they're like, "Oh God, no!" And they burn their hard drives just to make sure they burn their routers to make sure they can't get online. But that's everyone's got different taste. But yeah, start off with that, and then everything goes tits up, woo woo, explodey, whoosh whoosh, all that kind of stuff. Disaster. The thing's sinking because, yeah, of course, it's just going to be absolutely catastrophic like that. Well, actually, we've seen it recently, actually in real life. It actually is that catastrophic, so I suppose fair enough. Underwater is like not a nice place, but just the way they did it was, oh God, that monologue. I can't even remember. She said words. Words come out of her, like words came over the speaker and stuff. And then you saw her just that face on her like a smacked arse, and then everything started blowing up. Probably because she spoke. That was it. She was left unattended and was allowed to speak. So that's what sunk this in the station. There you go. That's the plot. It was her. So we start getting into a disaster movie like Poseidon or something. Goes into straight into that there. Then we meet Rodrigo. That's Mamadou's character, and oh God, he just like poof, like she's talking, he's talking. There's no one else in this at the moment because obviously they're looking for survivors, and I'm just there wasn't a desk. I was in the living room, so no desk to bang my head off. If I was here, I'd be just doof, doof, doof. Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh God, that was painful. And then it progresses. They start finding people because it becomes like a survivor-esque. Oh, we gotta go down to go up sort of thing. And they throw, we dug too deep, man. Like they even steal Lord of the Rings. So we dug too deep. Like the dwarves, we unleashed something. Mother Nature's coming to wipe us out. And like, oh my God, this is painful. This isn't a horror movie, by the way. It might be dressed up as a horror movie, but it's not. It's a paint by numbers, friggin' action flick / we're about the environment. Oh, why do we need energy? Sort of stuff. Right. So we gather the people together and we meet the first corpse. What gets me is, right, with these type of movies, when they're done badly, these people are supposed to be professionals. Right? And what is it about Hollywood and shitty sci-fi crews? Because I'd say this is more of a sci-fi movie than a horror movie. Um, but why is it they're always incompetent? I don't get it. Right? You think about it. Oil rigs. If you want to work on an oil rig, you need to go through rigorous training, pass tests, blah blah blah. You're constantly updating and refreshing. It goes as far as helicopter drills, man overboard drill. Do everything, fire drills. You're always, if you're not working, and there's time set aside, you're practicing. You're on a ship. You're doing man overboard drills. You're doing capsize drills. You're doing fire drills. You're doing blah blah blah. Astronauts train like buggery to shoot themselves up in wee rockets. To just skirt the surface of the earth. They haven't even gone any way further yet. And the amount of training they do and the standards they have to achieve, you would think that going underwater was a wee bit more dangerous, if not just as dangerous as going into. In fact, there's this whole, that what do you call it? Intro. We'll do all the diagrams and and all this kind of stuff, and they say about how going a mile underwater is the same as going to outer space and blah blah blah. Stuff we've known. Like the ocean is one of the deepest fears. And to conquer the ocean is one of the greatest challenges of mankind. That is as old as time itself. So when you have that sort of source material to play with, how can you make a movie so shit? Like how can you feel? Because it's there. The environment itself, the claustrophobia. But what it gets me is these are supposed to be trained professionals and instantly turn into morons. Just instant, like that. Dialogues written, they're just nothing. You think of I'm just making random comparisons here. Look at the Abyss or the Sphere. There are two good sort of, seagoing sci-fi-esque movies. They were professional. They acted like professionals. And it's only when the thing became overwhelming and then you saw that breakdown is when you knew they were in trouble. Nate, you could do a better job standing on your head than half these idiots. And that's what I keep saying. The writer's strike's on. Get out there, indie creators. Come on. The writer's strike's on. Hollywood's going to sleep for a while. Get out there and do it. Because, God, that's my phrase for another podcast. To apologize. Just brought that out there. But yeah, now's the opportunity to go and steal some ground because you can't be any worse. If you've got half a working brain, you can't be worse than these idiots. But anyway, yeah, they just fall apart immediately. And there's no rank structure. There's no position. Nobody falls on the line. You're always trained, like, even in civvy jobs, never mind any sort of maritime or paramilitary or, military style, you're always trained to cover somebody else's job if they're off sick. And you're kind of cross-trained. Like, it's essential that you're cross-trained in these sort of environments. But yet everyone just flaps about like blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, honestly, I think one of the things they do for the oil rigs is actually this dunk. You do the helicopter dunk thing, in the pool. So you dunk in a helicopter and you have to, get over the disorientation and get yourself out. And there's obviously divers and stuff there. But if they do that basics in real life, and this is a fantasy underwater setting with hardcore professionals, then you'd think that there'd be that level of like professionalism, but nah, we'll just get blah blah blah. Oh my god! And Cameron, that's all I gotta say to you. Oh, TJ Miller's in it. Yeah, TJ Miller has become discount Ryan Reynolds. That's what he acts. He just acts like Ryan Reynolds, and now that when he's not doing Deadpool, that's all you get. Wisecrack, 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 wisecrack. No levity whatsoever. Wisecrack. and that's him. That's what I'm saying. The scenario itself, without going supernatural or allegedly Lovecraftian, which I'll argue the point against, but without even going there, the ocean itself is a terrifying place. Why else do you think Jaws is still one of like most well-known horror movies of all time? You know, it's just that fear, and that's a big rubber shark. You know, so we have the captain. He's trapped. To find him, he's been releasing people up to the surface in the escape pods, which actually decent. He's the best character in this. He's actually a reasonably rounded character. Everyone else here is just walking wooden planks. And if they're not cannon fodder, they're quick machines and plot devices. Like, there's one character in this whole thing, and it's the captain. And he's sleepwalking through this. But, oh my god. Oh, flip, we're getting everybody on here. Welcome, funny enough. This is supposedly inspired by Lovecraft, and it couldn't be further from it. I would say The Abyss was more Lovecraftian, and that wasn't a horror movie. I would, well, definitely that's the epitome, you know, Event Horizon. And you talk about, like, if you had to take an Event Horizon, just made it in a sub, the exact same beats, there's a horror movie. This, so of course we're going through corridors, things are dripping, and because everything has to slowly drip. Like, we know that, and they've talked about the pressure 100 times, and this is the thing that gets me too. They can switch this crushing pressure on and off when the plot needs it. Oh, we need crushing pressure for drama. Flick, on it goes. Oh, that bit of the plot's finished. Off it turns. Everything's back to normal. And yes, all through their journey. And I liken it to Poseidon. It's a Poseidon-esque. They're traveling along the station, the broken parts, to find a way out. That kind of stuff. And then things go bump in the night. Yeah, the creatures, they're not very impressive. Honestly, even though I'll not be too right, the sets look good. The sets and the scenery of this looks nice. They just did nothing with it. It was an absolute waste of a setup. And that's what they kind of go. Also, there's abandoned there's just abandoned sections, fully working abandoned sections of this. We'll say ocean station, because basically it looks like a space station underwater. That's what they went for. They went for a space station underwater. Even the diving suits look like space suits. Even though, once again, this crushing pressure would crack them like eggs, but it's okay, because when they need to, they can do all the stuff outside they need, and that's okay with torches that shine lights and stuff. But they kind of made them look like Space Marine suits. Discount Space Marine suits, with torches, but that's okay, because, like I said, they can switch this crushing pressure off when it suits. Where was it getting? Yeah, I'm trying to find the plot in this. There's a plot in here somewhere. They kind of went, oh, right, we'll throw a bit of whoosh, just rolled it up and just went, whack, there's a bit of plot, stuck against the wall. They've done their event. They got one of them spitball things, there's another bit of plot. See what that, they just threw letters up in the wall. Right, okay, there we go. So they're trying to find dry land or get to the surface. Of course, none of radios work. Like, all the computers work. Everything works. Lights, unless the plot needs it not to, briefly. But of course, the radio doesn't, and they don't have a landline. I'm pretty certain with certain submersibles and that, they always have a ship, a safety ship up, and they've got a hard line. I can almost, and I'm not not a seagoing person, but I knew a few people in the Navy and stuff and that, and just would talk. But with these sort of things, and I've seen a lot of diving videos and that, they always have like a hard line from the surface because that's the whole idea. You can't rely on radio and stuff, so hardline connection. Nah, plot needs them not to be able to talk to the surface, so that's okay. That's the laziest of tropes. I think that's what's annoying me about this movie. It's just lazy. They've went for all the shiny. They've went for all the shiny stuff for the landscapes and the settings of the actual ocean station, drilling station, whatever you want to call it. They went for all that and didn't bother actually, writing a good script. And another thing about that is they make this absolutely sprawling mass of the station, huge long corridors. I'm thinking this is an underground rig. Surely space. Like, I mean, they don't have like luxury cruise liners. I think would be kind of jealous of these people's cabins and their ablutions, and that I would like this to be in the sub. You've no space. People sleep on top of the missiles, and they hammocks and bunks, and you just use whatever space necessary, especially the crushing pressure. Because they only mention it about 50 times. The crushing pressure, they only mention it, so that's why I just keep having. Kirsten Stewart's monologue at the beginning just broke my brain, and then all I heard was crushing pressure about 9 million times throughout the movie, because they just had to remind you of it because when they were going to switch it on again. Sorry, I'm not impressed. Mate, there's better role-playing scenarios in this movie. There's better friggin' plot twists and character development in a role-playing session than this serious movie with A-list, B-list actors, whatever. Yeah, this thing's a tragedy, but it just kind of it meanders on, and basically, then we start getting, like I said, bump of the night, the creatures. So of course they're gently bumping against, like and that's the plot. I mean, they attacked it. That's the whole thing of this. They attacked the station, but now they're gently bumping just to scare people, and yeah, they might sort of get in. And then they made a baby one. Oh yeah, that was it. The body they found. They found a body and nobody knew the person's name. Now this is a tight knit crew, and Wooden Plank did her monologue mentioned that they're on this for like months at a time. You would know everybody if you are stuck with the same group of people for a length of time. You can recognize them in the dark. You can recognize them by their silhouette. That's how well you get to know people. Not one of them mentioned the poor girl's name that they found. Not one of them. They just went, "Oh, it's a person," and you're like, "I don't think there's that many people on this. What the hell?" That's just classic example of bad writing. You meet a group of meet a group of veterans that have served together. You meet a group of shipmates, people even on ocean liners or merchant navy, you name it. Anyone that's spent any sort of time in close quarters together, they know each other better than their spouses. And if you've ever met, if you've ever been an outsider meeting so many people and all their in jokes, you'll never get it because that's that's the way of it. There's none out here. They just have people going scary, and that's them their whole time, except Kristen Stewart, because she has like no emotion or range whatsoever. They're better movies. They're actually more enjoyable than this. They are. The only thing that's the saving grace of this movie, like I said, it looks good. That's it. They spent some time actually. It wasn't Sci-Fi Channel sort of effects, which it might have been more. I think it'd be more forgiven if it was, But the fact that this has had a serious budget, obviously, and a serious costume department and props department, the have absolute crap, play out on screen is just unforgivable. So of course, then they have to go walking outside because, they weren't going to stay indoors all the time. They're going to go out to walk in the ocean. And this is when the crushing pressure is switched off because you can step outside in your spacesuit because that's what your spacesuit diving suit. By the way, back to the crushing pressure, you'd think these things would be super tough, and they are until they don't need to be. You know the old cracked visor gag? Yeah, that. Yeah, okay. They did that 100 times. Fucking boring. What else did they do? Oh, they're running out of oxygen. So these suits don't give you any warning at all until you go critical, and then it flashes red. So you get no indication that your oxygen's running down, like there's no gauges or anything, and it's just whoop, 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 whoop. So they've done that about 50 times as well, because why not? Let's do all the lazy things. So they meander along, and then we start seeing more of these creatures, and then they go out. And what do you call them things? The arthropods out of King Kong. They basically ripped off was it King Kong? Peter Jackson's King Kong. Sorry, I'm googly ties in here while I'm going on the tangent because I don't want to talk. I want to break from talking about this movie for a second. That's it. What do they call that? I can't remember what they called it. Remember that thing that at Andy Serkis? Yeah, so they nicked that idea. So instead of making like a proper thing, they made those things that went because obviously they couldn't be like they were super fast when they needed to be until they weren't, and then they were super slow and stupid. God, bloody frustrating. Be consistent. If you're creating a creature and you want it to be slow and pondering, make it slow and pondering. What you don't do is you make the same creature, swish and be super fast like a squid through the water, and then when it's static, being like, and then the way 1 minute it's grabbing people and they're disappearing, and then the next is actually doing that because they want you to see inside as it's eating somebody through the helmet, super slow motion 80s style, so they can get the magical bullshit device which saves the day. They only did that about 6 times during this movie as well, and there's only about flipping 6 members of the cast, so you can kind of tell how round circles this is going. You could understand this if it started off with 20 people, slasher-esque style, and everyone just got whittled down to a small tight-knit group. But it started off with a tight-knit group. It got to a bigger tight-knit group. Then the tight-knit group spent their time getting grabbed, getting rescued, getting grabbed, meeting crushing pressure. Then the crushing pressure switched off. Then they went out, and the crushing pressure didn't matter when they went out into it. But when they're back inside, and then something needed to happen, that a section was going to collapse and they had to run, then that was okay. And then and this took an hour and a half or so to, whittle down about 4 characters. God. Yeah, this is more funny to pick apart than actually watch. I'll give it that. But yeah, blah. Then we see the big bad, which is like a bigger version of the smaller monsters. Think of killer clowns and the bigger killer clown. That's the same level of hilarity. This thing, and it's not Cthulhu, by the way. It's not even remotely Cthulhu-esque or close. It's just a bug that eats things, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But this thing could have taken out the station in like 2 steps. Netflix don't know their arse from their elbow. They wouldn't do a good movie if it went and kicked them in the backside. Now, sometimes they have accidents, and a decent movie might slip through, but I'm not a fan of the platform. Just like I wouldn't even. What have I done in this channel? I think I've done maybe 1 series and 1 movie, possibly 3 out of everything I've watched and reviewed. I only did Archive 81 because Adam made me. He thought it was a good idea. But Cameron, at least Cameron and I stuck together and changed his mind in that one. So at least that was a small victory. But yeah, I don't even bother with that platform. It's not worth it. Where was it going? Yeah, monsters jumping out, scaring people running, all the last minute dashes as door closes and things grab people, and some people disappear or get rescued and then disappear a second time. And then we get down to the I think the most egregious scene in this. They're walking through the monsters who now decide, now it's the same creatures. I would understand if they're all like, the premise of this is they opened they're down in the, was it the Agatean plate or something, the flipping trench, whatever that trench is called. And they drilled that deep that they opened a chasm into like another world sort of thing, or in the creatures from the deep that aren't meant to be in our ocean. Now, if they had released a whole variety of creatures, and every time they encounter something different, fair enough. But they didn't. It was the same creature. It was the same creature that acted differently depending on how the plot needed it to. So they have this scene where there's 3 of them left, and they're dragging one of them through, and now they look like jellyfish. Because now, instead of being super fast squid things, they just want to hang there like jellyfish, because they decide they want to be like that for a moment. They want to identify as jellyfish for a while. So we get this dopey scene, but she gets ahead, wooden plank, gets ahead of the other 2. She gets through the airlock. Now, bear in mind, I mentioned the whole oxygen goes from fully full to running out. Everyone's running out of oxygen. What does she do when she gets to the safe spot of the station? She stops. She has a wee cry. She goes, has a shower. She dicks about a bit. And then she's like, oh, I suppose I better go out and see if I can find these other 2 with fresh oxygen. Now, if that isn't an absolute arsehole of a character, I don't know what is. I don't know what they were trying to do. And, yeah, so they did that. And why are they trying to get Kirsten Stewart to show emotion when she doesn't have any? And, yeah, so she decided that, all right, I'm okay. Boo-hoo-hoo, have a shower, arse about. Oh, yes, that's right. I've left 2 people out with all the squid things that are now acting like jellyfish. I suppose I better go out and help them, which was the whole point of me getting ahead in the first place. Then it turns into blah, 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 another rescue scene. And then, of course, there's 3 of them and there's only 2 escape pods. Dun, dun, dun. Cue pointless heroic sacrifice. And, of course, in the laziest of tropes ever, this drilling station, which, think of it as a sci-fi oil rig, which is what it is. They didn't mention what they were drilling for. They're just drilling. Apparently just drilling on the ocean floor gets energy. Like, they didn't decide to elaborate. It might have been gas. I doubt it, because I don't think they thought that far ahead. Just drilling in the ocean, bad. Release bad things. That's kind of what they were doing. But yeah, it has a self-destruct. like every oil rig has a self-destruct, doesn't it? Every ship, that's the first thing you talk when you get a new car, when the dealership, and here is a self-destruct. Because that's with all machines that people pour billions into, and it's reliant on their income, and there's a whole industry and a project to make this thing work. So of course you're going to build a self-destruct into it. That's just, yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Oh god, I'm hurting myself talking about this movie. I'm actually in pain. Oh god, yeah. So triggers the self-destruct, and then what do we get? When you think this movie couldn't get any more painful, what did it finish off with? Another fucking monologue from the wooden plank herself. So she hadn't even the decency to die without giving an ethereal monologue, and oh, it's even bad that the thing has a radar that goes bad guys here, good guys here, blast, kill all bad guys. That was fucking painful. It was Austin Powers type shit. The radar thing that did at the end, and then her monologue, and my brain just shut out. My brain actually went into self-defense mode, and I had to slap myself in the back of the head to get it to come forward again, because it just crawled back inside. I went, no more. Had to do a few sanity rolls just to freaking get back so I could do this review. This is another movie I've watched so you don't have to. And fuck you, Cameron. Fuck you twice for stitching me up like this. Some friend you are. Right, there you go. That's it. That's a review. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. Am I just being overly harsh and overly critical? Me being a fan of high art. Me being, with my exacting standards in movies that I wouldn't touch anything below Oscar, 20 Oscars, that side of stuff. Anyone knows me that, yeah, I'm like that. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts if you watch this movie. So drop them in the comments below. Tomorrow night, I'm on Brotherhood of the Dice channel. We're doing Tatters of the King, I believe, called Cthulhu Adventure. We're picking up, what is that, episode 14 or something of that one. We're putting Highway of Blood on hiatus till Rand gets back. He's joining the week after. So we're jumping on for Tatters of the King tomorrow. And then the week after, we'll jump back to finish off Highway of Blood. My character's dead anyway, unless something gnarly happens to him. Depends how evil young Philip is. But yeah, I'll post a link to that there. A few things coming up. More reviews. We've got House Party. That's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've also got another Clive Barker. We're going to do Dread this time. That'll be fun. We're starting to come to the end of that wee series because we're only like one or two movies and a TV series to go. So that'll be all Clive Barker out. So we'll look at the next one. We're currently planning Dracula in cinema. Steve and I are working on that one. And we're just going to go over the entire history of Dracula in the movies. And all the different iterations and that. So that'll be a fun one. So plan to get on. I'll play some more dodgy games as well. I'm not feeling that Dredge one, but I'll give it another go just to see what happens. So at the end of the time, plan to get on. Go up to the other channel. Oh, wait, this is only Monday. Sorry, that's Wednesday. I'm having a night off tomorrow. I'm going to have some me time. And actually, I have a horrific tale to record. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I'll not be online. I'll be recording an episode coming out in future. So we'll do that. Sorry, I'm ahead of myself because this was the weirdest Monday ever. Didn't feel like a Monday. Felt more like a Tuesday because of out doing stuff. But anyway, there you go. Go up to the channel, do the type of click things. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.